You got to find a way to get into the room with people. Right now, we're at a five-star resort in Sedona that Ken owns, one of my clients, who he has a humongous real estate business. And we're here with like a documentary crew. One, the main guy, he owns a pretty large real estate company as well, but he's bringing a documentary crew here to record Ken. And so we're talking, we're about to be all getting dinner. And these things just open up an infinite amount of doors. You would have absolutely no idea. You have to find a way to get into the room. It's really like the only way if you have a small service-based business. If you can't get a client, it doesn't matter. I help large businesses grow their YouTube channels, mainly YouTube. All social media is involved though, so they can get more customers. And I do that to the point where they have to spend as little time on it as possible for the maximum result. And because of that, I'm working with very busy, very high net worth people, and it's a very mutualistic relationship. But same thing with YouTube. If you can't get someone to watch the video, all your work is futile. You could have you could have the best produced video in the entire world. It could be the best, but if no one clicks on it and then no one will watch it. So you have to find a way to get someone to click on it. It's the same way with business. You could actually have a very high in demand skill set that a lot of people want. But if you can't get any clients, then it doesn't matter how good you are at what you're doing. And so there needs to be a middle point where you have the connections to where you can get the clients and then you are actually really good. But if you can't get the clients, it's all pointless. So how do you get them? How do you get your foot in the door? That's the hardest thing for most. I mean, that was the hardest thing for me. That was the longest process. It took me a year to get my foot in the door. And what ended up working after trying quite literally everything is I got a guy's logo, George Gammon, tattooed on my leg and harassed him. I took my first ever flight to go meet him and begged him for a job for a significant period of time. And so you got to find a way. It's just difficult, but it's not impossible. I would say go to different live events, different meetups. But the thing is, you want to buy the most expensive ticket to these live events. If you go to an event, I would only buy the most expensive ticket. But if you're broke and you don't have a business, you can't afford to buy the most expensive ticket. And the reason why I say that is because that's where the highest net worth people are. And if that's the room you're trying to get into, that's how you would do it. And so I would say actually like closer knit, like masterminds. I mean, that's why EO and YPO are so great. And that's just entrepreneur organizations where you have like a few people in your group and you guys go and sit down and talk through your business problems. That's actually the most valuable. It's not sitting in a room with 2,000 people. It's going with like 5 or 6 people where you can have super intimate relationships with all of them. And I mean that's pretty much how every connection I have. And most businesses are referral based businesses. Mine's 100% referral. A lot of 8-figure businesses that I talk to are 100% referral based. Uh, there's just no you can only go so far with referral, but I need to systematize everything to where everything kind of works out without referral. But you only get referrals if you do good work. And so you can't be just good at networking. You have to also have a good product. So it's the same thing with a video. You can't just have a good title thumbnail and get someone to click on it. You have to have good information or you lose trust and people are going to stop watching your videos. The same thing is true. People are going to stop working with you. So we're going to be eating this is the last 100% organic farm or like fresh food system in Arizona, and it's owned by Ken just for the resort that he has. And he has this resort. It's called Orchard Canyon. It is spectacular. It's in Sedona. And so doing things like this are awesome. They really are, but they also provide a lot of other opportunities to kind of go over different strategies. I'm going to be going over a lot of different business strategies with Ken this weekend because I'm struggling with a few things. I'm going to ask him about it, and he's done this a million times because he has 350 plus employees. I mean, his company is making 9 figures, and I think it is. They have 10,000 apartments, and so I don't know what the average rent is, but you can do the math on that, and it's a lot of money. It's I don't know what else to talk about because I'm kind of just conflicted. I'm going through a bunch of different negotiations and contracts with a new client, Robert Kiyosaki. I'm doing just a lot of different things right now and juggling so many things at once. And so I need to bring on more people, but I don't really have much income coming in right now. I have a bunch of like soft deals with people, but nothing that's kind of in writing, and the paychecks aren't started to flood in yet. And once they do, I should have a lot more money coming in. Therefore, I'll be able to hire some more people that will be able to help take some of the workload off. At some point, it's going to take a lot of training. But right now, I'm just kind of at crossroads. And so that's what I want to bounce ideas back and forth off with Ken, who he's been here. Every single business owner that is successful has been in these small situations. So it's the same thing. When you have, I mean, my clients are all kind of mentors to me. They're all great friends. They're mentors where any business question I have, I'll ask them and I'll always get a great answer because it's a very mutualistic relationship that we have. And so I have a lot on my mind that I just kind of want to get clarity on. And that's huge in businesses, having like a clear, like make a decision and stick with it and wait a few months and see if the results change. And if they do, keep doing that. If they don't, you have to figure something else out. But make a decision and just decide is this a ending decision for you? Probably not. And so you can afford to mess up. You just have to actually have some sort of clear vision, make decisions around that. But I got to go because we got to get to dinner. Me and PJ are back in the hotel. Couldn't get 2 rooms. So this place is pretty sweet though. It's really, really cool. We're going to take a bunch of videos and maybe post them at some point. So gotta go.